Hey, everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Citizen Frame as we come to the tail end of Shark Month.
Fin is the French for finish. So, yeah, there you go. And we're doing a French shark film to wrap it up. Perfect.
Oh, way to jump in that one.
A little bit of French for you. Oui.
Yeah, foutoir.
Bonjour.
There's some French for you.
S'il vous plaît.
No, you don't even know what foutoir means, do you?
No, because I don't speak fluent French. But obviously you do. So do enlighten us.
It means fuck off. Fuck you.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were trying to get another shark movie in here, and we wanted to do Dangerous Animals. I don't know where that's gone or went. It's a weird one. So we're going to go ahead and pepper this one in. Now, this one was made, was shopped around for a while by a French director who I kind of admire some of his stuff. And finally, Netflix bought it up. It's written as a two-parter. So we are getting a sequel because it does end kind of in a climax. It became quite a little hit under the Netflix banner. And that film is Under Paris. And this is probably almost a copy and paste of Deep Blue Sea. Not really fucking with Mother Nature, as Deep Blue Sea was more, genetics and stuff like that. This one's more about the pollution that's going on in the oceans and how we're destroying the oceans and so forth. So that pretty much where these sharks become their own little altered sharks. A whole new shark will be discovered.
Well, again, I'm no marine biologist or evolutionist. I'm not Charles Darwin, but I'm pretty confident that massive liberties are taken here with science and evolution. But we'll get to it.
Yeah, evolution, I agree with. I don't think they've created their own shark, but there's some truth to some of it.
Yeah, but the thing is, as well, evolution, as far as I'm aware, again, I'm no expert, I'm no scientist, things like, sharks developing and adapting to with freshwater would take...
Oh, yeah, that's going to be...
millions of years.
Yeah.
With at least thousands. In this film, it happens overnight.
Yeah, of course. I mean, actually, it's 3 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. Dr. Woods. Yeah.
But there's some cool stuff in there. I like when they do. We did that. We talked about that with Deep Blue Sea. Yeah, they're going to take liberties. It's a fucking movie. It's a creature feature. They can try to be smart as they want. It's a fucking creature feature at the end of the day. But there's some truth in there about sharks don't have to have sex to give birth, stuff like that. That's all based on truth. So it's got some cool little facts in there, which, of course, me being a marine biologist, I will bring all that stuff.
A movie biologist? Right, okay.
Marine biologist.
Okay.
Let's go fucking watch Superman.
Well, we'll get to that at some point, I hope. Because that will be...
we need to do a Superman retrospective because me and him got a fucking massive hate going on right now for the new Superman.
Yeah, there's tension. Yeah.
He was sucking his dick, and I think it's terrible. But when you read up about Superman, that's the way it is. There's either people who really like it or other people who fucking hate it.
I would say
there's no middleman with Superman.
I would say
it's weird.
Watching it, although I did really like it, I did know that it was going to be really divisive. Well, guns like that anyway, you either love it or you hate it. It's Marmite.
Yeah, true. We'll give it that. But it's no Guardians of the Galaxy, that's for sure. Okay. Back to this other film.
Yeah, the one we're supposed to be reviewing.
So Under Paris. It's a French action horror disaster film about a giant shark terrorizing Paris during the World Triathlon Championship. I love this scene. I love the ending of this movie. A marine biologist, still traumatized by the past shark attack that killed her team and her lover, is called to investigate when a shark is discovered in the Seine. She teams up with an environmental activist who's a fucking vile guy. I hated this character, and I'm so glad what happens to them. And a reluctant police officer.
Yes.
To prevent a bloodbath.
Well, these guys, essentially, the police officer and his team are essentially river police, the Seine, but they're also, it just by chance happens, Rambos. But anyway, yeah, another leap in logic, but yeah.
What?
The river police.
You're taking... Well, Yeah, they have them in the States too. What's the
I know,
problem with
but
that? I don't
generally, I know
understand.
they have them everywhere. But generally, river police are not action heroes.
But then now you're just taking an action film and now you're coming at it for stupidest
I'm
reasons.
nitpicking. Yes, I'm nitpicking. Yeah.
I'm not doing this review if you're doing that.
Yeah, no, I will nitpick.
I mean, what's the point if you're going to nitpick a film to shreds, a creature feature, because of something stupid like that? What's the
Look,
point?
I want a masterpiece like Alligator or Piranha.
That's my problem with you. You're already going to tear this to shreds, but Alligator is a fucking work of art,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
idiot. All right, so this is directed by Xavier Gens, kind of going all over the place here, and I like his stuff. He did a French film in 2007. It's very dark and very violent and creepy, and it's kind of like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre set in the French underground. It's quite good. It's called Frontiers. You guys should check it
I've
out.
heard of it.
And then he did The Hitman, like based on the video game with Timothy Olyphant. Not great. Then he also did a film called The Divide, which is quite good. So he's done some decent stuff. He's done some good TV. So I like to see him do a resurgence here with this film because it definitely will get a sequel. And don't know any of the actors to be honest with you because I don't watch a lot of French cinema. But we got Sophia, Adil, Leah, Mika, Caro, Nils, Marcos, Leopold, and the really bad mayor.
Sorry. Female French Mervon. Yes.
Yeah, she's a character, that's for sure. Murray, she has nothing on Murray Hamilton. Listen.
I actually know someone in the real world who looks really, really like her, so it was sort of off-putting for me. But I would say as well that I actually watched it. You know the way on Netflix these days you can watch things with like an English dub. I watched this with the English dub, and it was just quite surreal. The only time I'd ever done that before was with Squid Game, and it's just quite a surreal experience. You know, it's quite off-putting. So it is. But anyway,
So we open up. This is kind of creepy. It's kind of sad, actually. The one thing the film does right, there's quite a few things right, actually. Some things don't work, but it doesn't preach to you. It does tell you. It opens up where we see all this garbage, all this plastic that's gathered outside of the North Pacific Ocean. And this thing actually exists. It's called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
it's off Hawaii, isn't
And
it? I believe.
I'm not sure where exactly it is. It's disgraceful, though.
Oh no,
It's
I
unreal.
agree. I mean, humans are fucking vile. You know, with stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and then you see like a sperm whale trapped in the plastic. And this is where they see it's been eaten a bit, obviously, by sharks. But it, it's pretty much just does this data dump on what's happening to the oceans. And pretty sad actually. Now the great thing about the film, they don't get preachy, and they do bring in these activists who are just fucking obnoxious and risk the lives of cops and stuff. And I love where the film goes with them, and we'll dig a little deeper. But the beginning of the film does talk to you about what is happening with the oceans, and then they leave it at that. They don't kind of
Yeah, and also mentioned, which is actually probably even worse, because I think with the pollution, a lot of it's down to stupidity, but there's also hunters who hunt and kill sharks for their fins, basically, and they'll make up appliances or whatever with it. So that's even worse to me.
Yeah, it's like hunters hunting just to hunt and not killing and not taking the whole
To
animal.
make money, yeah.
Yeah.
They sell them to cosmetics companies
There you go.
to get your makeup
There you
on,
go.
Kieran. Next
So
time,
you can wear your makeup,
next time
Trevor.
you're,
When you wear your
next
makeup,
time you're,
when you're putting your lipstick on, Trevor, to go out with the boys, you can now
think
realize,
twice.
oh, wow, this is probably made out of shark juice.
Yeah, lovely stuff.
So this is gonna be a long fucking podcast, and it's not gonna be about the fucking film. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, so she's looking for a shark that she tagged called Lilith, and that's how they kind of got to this area. But what's happened here is their theory is because of the plastic, and I'm a little confused.
Oh, I was confused, all right. Trust me.
Yeah,
I think the scriptwriter was even more confused.
Deep Blue Sea had as batshit crazy as this, did give us a reason why these sharks became smarter and yada, yada, yada. Okay? Don't fuck with Mother Nature. And this one they're saying because of the garbage that's in the ocean, the shark's blood and the sharks or what they're eating or what they're taking in is causing genetic change.
Yes,
I
essentially.
think that's what they're saying.
Essentially, also they're pissed off, the sharks, and
Yeah.
they take things personally because it's a big coincidence that she just happens to be working beside the scene whenever Lilith, the shark, pops up again. But yeah, I mean the plot has to be forwarded. But yes, essentially, I don't know. It's not really explained. It's basically bullshit evolution, pseudoscience.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Well, the same thing with, but it's okay if a mad scientist is experimenting on dogs and throws the corpses of the dogs down the sewer, and the alligator eats the dogs and becomes massive alligator. That's okay.
Works for me.
Fucking idiot.
Works for
Fucking
me.
idiot.
Yeah.
Okay.
The problem here, I think, is it gets bogged down on trying to be serious with the bullshit explanation. With
I don't think it does. That's my point. You get it here, and then they move on.
yeah, I know, but yeah,
They do, and we're getting away from. I just wanted to bring that up because I do think that it does its day jump and then moves on. But anyways, now one thing about underwater films and or anything shot underwater, it could be murky and crappy. I gotta admit, the cam work underwater here is beautiful. It's the one film that it's everything's clear. You can see everything, especially even underneath the plastic, the sea of plastic that the divers are under before they get attacked is gorgeous almost as horrific as it is. So when Lilith decides fuck this shit and attacks her husband or boyfriend, whoever it was, Chris, he gets eaten. These guys get devoured. They don't show you much, but it's a lot of chaos, kind of like they do with Piranha, and but it's still effective. But what I do like about it is when she jumps in and it gives her a little bit of a little arc. At least she tried to save them, despite it being her fault. Because she makes a line. They wanted to leave. Her boyfriend or husband wanted to leave because he felt something wasn't right with that shark when he ran into Lilith, and she insisted that they stay down there and he gets a sample from her, and that causes the chaos. So technically, their death is on her.
yeah, it's brought up later.
But when she jumps in, great shot when she gets. It's ironic too, where Lilith goes zoom past her, and her leg gets stuck with plastic that connected to the shark and starts pulling her down. And she starts, with all the pressure kicking in, and she starts, her ear starts bleeding and so forth.
Yeah,
It's actually a really nice shot, and I really enjoyed it. She obviously survives, but it's a nice intro to what she went through to get 3 years later.
Throughout this, with all of the bullshit science, I did actually appreciate that touch where, with the whole pressure and being dragged undersea, her ears bleed, and it looks horrendously painful. Obviously, it's not real, but so yeah, I thought that worked quite well and sets it up well. It's quite a good opening.
So there you go. There's your intro. There's why the sharks going batshit crazy. Now, yeah, we're in on the Seine here now, and it's got a couple easy, plant the Easter eggs a little.
Aye, but the bombs from World War II.
Yeah, you've seen the shells from World War II, the unused ones or the ones that didn't go off, and these salvagers find it. Oh, what it is? Oh, these are shells. Oh, put those away. Those won't come back into play. It is. There's a lot of plot conveniences, I guess you see, or plot devices that are peppered in. Now they're handled well when they're used. But I do like the intro to the characters on the way it's done. The kind of you meet Mika, and then you've got her friend and partner Ben. Then you've got Adele. Adele is a cop. Then you've got Sophia. Those are your main four. Then you've got other characters peppered in, Nils, Corona, and so forth. Not that the names really matter. We just want to see people get eaten.
Well, yes, exactly.
What I do like about the film is these environmentalists, or I call them extremists, get what they deserve because they're obnoxious.
Dipshits.
And it's finally a film where they're going to show you both sides of the story. where you've got, we need to change certain things in our behavioral, like especially with the ocean, but it also shows these extremists and what they would do to
Well, they're putting everybody in
save this.
danger.
Yeah, why trying to save the shark? Like when Mika, who you think's gonna be one of the lead characters, ends up being, quite frankly, I think the villain, and even her partner Ben is the one who actually saves the day because she realizes, like for instance, when the cops are down there in the water trying to investigate, they have to prove to the mayor that there's a shark. All right.
Yeah.
Gee, this story sounds familiar. And so they're down there, and Mika makes Ben, who's kind of like the IT nerd, take the tracking off. So now the cops are blind. They don't, and Sophia can't find the tracking device anymore where Lilith is, and putting these cops at risk. Well, they find out Mika is responsible for that because Ben feels bad for what she did and tells Sophia what happened. And this causes these dipshits who think they know everything about everything goes into the. I love that. Do like the when they go underneath to the catacombs.
Yes.
I like the sewers and stuff. Those are some of the best sequences. And they're in the sewer and they're trying to get Lilith to come back. So save Lilith. This stupid ass Mika is going to go in to swim with the fucking shark because it won't hurt them, and try to save it before the cops kill it.
Swim with sharks, you'll get fucking bit.
Fucking idiot. What a fucking idiot.
Yep.
Clueless idiot. And it's what's great about the scene is that when the cops have to go prove that there's a shark, they know where they're going because if Bean tells them what's happening, they're going to meet in the catacombs or the sewers, wherever they are.
Yes.
And you got the elements of the cops trying to get there, and then you got this huddle of mass twats trying to summon up the shark to save it. And it's a nice collide because once the cops get there, all shit hits the fan. And we talked about quick chaos we saw in Piranha, where it's just quick cuts and, fast motions, which worked because he couldn't afford to show you all the carnage and so forth. But the putting you in the mix of it does work. And they do that here. And again, clean photography, underwater photography, above the water photography, it all works. Limbs coming off. Best shot of the movie when Mika gets fucking devoured and the shark comes out of the water. Love that
but
shot.
Here's the problem I have with all of this. While I do appreciate all of that and stuff, the CGI is terrible and it sticks out like a sore thumb.
I didn't really notice it. I didn't really. Yeah, there's some flaws in some of the CGI. I'll give you that, but it didn't take me out at all.
It did with me a bit.
Yeah, I don't. The budget was 25 million euro, so I'm not going to judge it on it. It's to each their own, I guess. If I was watching a Marvel film, I'd expect it to be perfect. But I'm not talking a 300 million blockbuster. I'm talking a 25 million, 25 euro. That's the way I'm looking at it. But yeah, I hear your point. But you go ahead and nitpick on it, fucker.
Well, it's no alligator,
Yeah, yeah. Stop motion.
What Morris? The fucking you had actual actor alligators and that,
And the mayor's so over the top. So, 12 people are dead now. And she says something like, we need to close the river. You got 12 people are dead. And what's she say again?
She wants to cover it up.
Tries
basically.
to murder Hamble to it.
Yeah, she wants to cover it up because obviously this bullshit triathlon thing cost billions. Although you wouldn't think it for a second whenever we actually see the triathlon later on. But apparently this triathlon cost billions, so it has to go ahead and she wants to cover it up. I'll say one thing about them. They're very good at covering it up because they do get away with it. I mean, where were the family screaming about, whatever you call these dipshits who get killed, the environmentalist, the activist types? Where were their families? Why weren't the press? Are the press really that shit in France and Paris?
Yeah. Yeah. She says it's 1.7 billion it costs. Well, it's not because of what you see, like the little flags and shit. It's what they did to the systems. They had to clean everything up. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why that's what they're talking.
I would say that apparently that is an actual thing that is really going on in Paris at the moment, where the Seine is being depolluted. So I suppose it's a nod to what's happening in real life.
Wow. Look at that. Realism in under Paris.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's like a documentary, actually, this.
I do like the fact that they find out they keep seeing the shark. They don't know where it is. And obviously, there's this iPad she uses, whatever, right? And you're looking for the shark, and it has a picture of a shark.
Yeah.
And, but obviously, she probably put that as the icon. But it's like in the middle of the sand. I can't find it anywhere. Well, it's not even near the sand. It's in the sand. It's in the catacombs. So your map kind of sucks. Because when they're diving, they look to the left and they see these little cages that lead into the catacombs that are sealed off, and they can see the sharks swimming past. So that's how they know it's in the
You get
catacombs.
the odd fin as
And
well, glimpsed at.
was that? Oh yeah, yeah. The film actually, before everything kicks off, even before Mika gets eaten, the whole activists get chumped. There's very little action, but what I do like about it, it's you kind of I got into the characters. It's fast paced, and it builds a little tension as they're trying to look for the shark. Because once they do find the shark, the shit hits the fan, and all anything that has any kind of reality, any kind of serious realism is thrown out
Oh
the
well, I
window
mean
once we get
the realism's thrown out the
yeah.
window really from the start. But I would have liked to have seen. I would have liked this a lot more if there had been more batshit crazy stuff. And yeah, yes, it does. You do get a bit of it certainly when the triathlon does happen, and whenever they're down in the catacombs and stuff, with all of these dipshits. But I wanted more gore, and actual physical practical effects with the gore.
I
You do
think
see the odd
you can't
amputee, you know.
you can't get practical effects for this kind of
You do see
stuff.
some actually.
You just can't.
To be fair,
You get some, but you can't do it with this kind of film. I mean, I'm sorry, man. I'm the complete opposite. I don't know the fucking movie you saw because at least this one, anyone who got touched by the shark, you see get devoured pretty
I wanted more
much.
of that.
Especially bullshit. Especially the triathlon when he pulls the people underwater and he cuts them and the shark just rips them in half. And you see plenty of that in this film. Plenty of it.
Piranha did it better
People being
at the
devoured.
end.
Was that?
Piranha did it better at the end. Whenever
Well, that's no, it didn't.
it
Come on,
did to
now
me.
you just
See, I'm
being
serious. Yeah, I'm being completely serious here. But it does improve with that type of thing. But I just wanted to see more of a massacre.
so when they find out that it's gave birth. I do like the shot when they're under the water in the catacombs and all these all these sharks are above them. Really nice shot, and those are the kind of shots I really appreciate. Again, underwater, clear. It's not they keep it murky enough to make it more real, but it's clear enough you can see everything. I do like it, and I do like the fact they discuss about certain sharks can give birth without mating with the male. Didn't know that. See,
I'm not going to go into that because I really don't. But apparently, it is true. There are certain breeds of
yeah,
sharks.
it's called parthenogenesis.
Yeah.
It's also known as virgin birth.
Okay. Dr. Woods steps in again to
Yeah, you're
save the
welcome.
day. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Yep.
I did not look at that up at all for this
Sitting there
film.
with your white lab coat and just rattling off these scientific
Yep,
facts.
yep. I got my shark charts right in front of me right now.
I obviously you probably made the chart yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I
Every
would say
mistake.
actually, although I've sort of based the CGI in this, see the scenes where there's not action, but you still see the sharks. They're just like swimming and about and stuff. That's actually well done. It's whenever there's like a big death scene, it does look, it does stick
No, it
out.
doesn't. No, it doesn't. I'll give you the Mika one. It's a little CGI, which obviously you're going to catch that because it's a hard shot to do. But no, everything else, no, because most of it's underwater. And like when you got the cops who are down there to set off the bombs,
Yeah.
which I like this whole setup. And they're gonna seal the sharks in the catacombs, and they'll end up just dying of starvation or whatever. Boy, that does not come back and bite them in the face. But and then you see each cop getting eaten. Like one cop will self-sacrifice himself to get the detonator, and he'll get eaten by like three sharks, and you see him being bit, bits and
Yes.
pieces.
Yeah.
And again, under the water, those are the more personal attacks are so well done. Now you're not going to get that for every attack because we too much money to do that, but it's very well handled, just as good as you see in the Meg. It's not better because Meg, quite frankly, didn't have enough carnage. That was the problem with the Megs. It was too lighthearted.
Yeah.
And this, of all the shark films I've seen, this one ups the game. And so the carnage and everything flows nicely. And you do get to know each character, whether you give a shit or not.
Well, this plays it. This plays it more straight, much more straight than like the Deep Blue
yes.
Sea and all of the like Piranha and all these other ones. You know, these Jaws knockoffs. This does attempt to play it much more straight.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. You'll have some comic relief. I think the mayor is that, but I don't think I watched it with English dialect. I didn't watch it with the subtitles in
Yeah,
French,
dub. Yeah,
which
like I did. Yeah.
which yeah, I should have because anytime you translate a film and it's dubbed in English, it can come off hokey, and it's really not what they're saying. What's actually written.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier on about watching it. It's sort of it's off putting whenever you watch these Netflix films with the English dub. I did it with Squid Game because I don't speak Korean. I don't speak French either.
Well,
yes,
Squid Game's too long. That's why you have to you rather have it in English because reading subtitles for 10 episodes would be.
I don't mind subtitles. I find that your brain adjusts to subtitles after a while.
Yeah, you're right. I'll give you that.
That's
true.
But you know what? I being honest, because when I watched the dub of this, the English dub of this, and Squid Game, I was being lazy. So it's easier to watch it with a dub than with subtitles.
I think it's because, come on, do we really need the dialogue?
Well,
it's a shark, it's a creature feature.
Exactly.
If I was watching gritty crime drama, I get,
classic
but
cinema.
at the end of the day, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Or watching a good porn. If I watch good porn, you want subtitles.
No, with something with something like this here, you're not hanging on every line of dialogue. You know what I mean? It's not exactly vital. It's a shark runaround, essentially.
No, I do like when they find the one dead shark and they cut it open. You see all these little baby sharks coming out. And she was talking about how this is the female, and this is what we talk about, the virgin birth. And she describing the shark and how it senses and the blood coming out of the nose and blah, blah. But that's what she was talking about, taking in all the pollution and so forth. And this is the outcome of what's happened to these sharks.
See here, the practical here is actually really good. So I wanted more practical. Yeah.
Again, you budgetary, you just can't do it.
Yes, I understand that.
But you know what? For what they show, we talked about that Deep Blue Sea. We talked about movies that cut away and they show you stock footage of a shark from National Geographic, or something. This all was whether it was CGI or practical. And when they did show the shark, it's very well handled and very well done. But I guess there's limitations and only so much they can do, especially the fucking chaos.
But but to its credit, what this scene with the actual practical shark that gets cut open, and then all the wee baby, because it's pregnant as well, all the wee baby sharks come out. It's well done. It looks good.
I love when the mayor goes, "We're going to start the race. We got 100 divers jumping in. This is the greatest day of blah 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 and yada yada yada." And the minute she says that, Lilith burst out of the catacombs.
Oh, that was always going to happen. Watching it, the mayor, although like Murray Hamilton, it essentially does the same thing in Jaws and all the other knockoffs of it. It's just, I'm sort of thinking to myself, no human being would be so fucking selfish and stupid to actually let it go ahead, knowing that there is like literally shit tons of killer sharks in the water. But she does it anyway because we've got to get our finale.
Yeah, of course. You got to have the villain.
Yeah, the human villain,
and she's it. She's a little over the top. But I do like when the shark just go full scale, you get what's left of the river cops. They get it here in a second.
Yeah,
when the shark knocks them off the boat, takes a couple of them out. I do like the little nod to Jaws when it gets caught in the netting,
barrels,
and it keeps going, and then you see the yellow barrels that's keeping the net afloat. That's a little nod to Spielberg's masterpiece.
You know what? I think there's a great concept behind this film. I do want to see sharks in an inner city, a big city river, attacking a city. And I do love the bleak as hell finale, because I was genuinely expecting it all to be wrapped up on a nice bow. It's basically an apocalyptic finale, you know.
Yeah, it is because there's no happy ending here. Because what happens is we come back to those shells, those shells that were never deactivated from World War II, and they cause that explosion, that huge explosion. And it's nice. It's actually, you talk about CGI. This is nice CGI when the bridge collapses and causing the massive flood of the from
The
the
city.
catacombs to the sand itself leads into the city, and all the sharks that they try to bury in the catacombs are coming out now, and so it pretty much ends with a bunch of people being eaten, and it's wonderful chaos, and and then the poor cop Adil, who's still barely alive, is on top of this roof, which is now the city's pretty much flooded, and he looks up at Sophia and goes, "Did we make it?" And she doesn't say a word because she's surrounded by sharks in the middle of the city.
The images
And
of France underwater, the Eiffel Tower underwater, and all the city and all did hark back to me like apocalyptic type films. You know, even Planet of the Apes with the buried Statue of Liberty. So there is. I did like the apocalyptic ending, essentially.
well, they said it's a
Yeah,
two-parter. So even the ending credits you have a map of Paris, and you have the sin there, and then you had the one dot, which was the shark at the one time. But because of all the damage that's been done, and especially from the explosion and the flooding, you see the red lines through the rest of the credits just going all the way through Paris.
yeah.
So all of Paris now is infected.
I've been
Like
thinking throughout this podcast. My main issue with this, I feel that it's underdeveloped, and I think I like the concept, and I like some stuff with it, but I do. It feels like a draft, and I would have liked to have seen it to be given more budget and to be developed more and refined more.
that's not fair to this film. This film has to have an introduction of some sorts. They knew what they had. They know that the sequel's coming. And because of the success of this, they're now able to get probably a bigger, they're going
Yeah,
to
they
have
will
a
get
bigger
bigger
budget for
budget.
the next
Yeah,
one. They have to because
yeah,
you're going to have Paris underwater
yeah.
sharks. So you're going to have to. And they will get it because the movie did well. So I'm looking forward to that. But I don't mind going independent to try to sell your vision and work with what they did. When they tried to, here's the problem with the film, and it's minor to me, bigger for you, but minor for me, is when they show the people getting eaten, I love it. People getting cut in half and bitten in half, I love it. I love the tension underneath the water. But when they try to go big Hollywood shark-esque, like when the shark comes up and knocks the boat in the air, it flies in the air, or when it eats Mika, pops out of the water, that's where you can see it's CGI and it's not that great. So when they try to do that big Hollywood pizzazz with the money they had, it doesn't work. They should have kept it more grounded and leave those kind of big extravaganza kind of shots for the next film when they would have the budget for it.
Of course, they didn't know that it was going to be a success, and and that a sequel would be greenlit. So I suppose they were just trying to go all in. I actually did like that part where the shark comes up and the boat flies up in the air. That was actually one of my favorite bits.
Yeah, but that's the worst CGI in the film. That's why I don't get your CGI, but that is bad CGI.
But yes, I know. But with the death scenes, it's clearly animation, for want of a better word, CGI animation. Especially the one, is it Mickey you called the leader of the dipshits?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
her death particularly jarred for me because I was wanting to see the shark basically munch on her legs and stuff, and proper, but it was just too quick and too
Oh,
animated.
there's a difference. Okay, so there's a difference between violent shot or not a violent shot enough for you, you sick fuck.
Yes, exactly. Well, in a shark film, I want to see fucking people being eaten in gory detail.
That's funny. You keep saying that, but you see plenty of people getting eaten here.
I did it all.
Plenty.
Yeah,
There's no eye. There's a shitload of people that get eaten, and they show 90% of them.
yeah, I wanted more.
So
So
I don't think this film was ever going to win you because you wouldn't say that about anything. For some reason, you just I want more and more. Well, what the fuck? It doesn't make any sense. You just want a film of a shark going around eating people, no plot.
well, basically,
You know,
this then.
what you want is just a video game.
No. This is what we got. We a lot of it. A video game.
No. Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. You want a video game.
I think it's
You
underdeveloped.
just want a shark eating things.
It's underdeveloped.
No. How could it be underdeveloped if all you want to see is a shark eating people?
No. The characters and stuff like the characters are quite underdeveloped, and they're a bit.
I don't think they are
characters.
I don't think they are at all. I think that first
cliche.
hour, the characters are quite developed. Adele, Sophia, and Mika, and Bin, and Nils,
No,
and all those guys are fine with me. You got a whole hour to meet them. I was okay with that.
Nabil's the most
And
likable character in it. And I would say, I hope he pops up for the sequel if it does happen. I think the character deserves to. There is some good stuff here. And yes, there is a lack of budget that does affect it. Here's the thing. I have an issue with Netflix films in general and, a lack of budget that they're given. So it does feel like a TV movie. And that's not the fault of the filmmaker. You can only work with what you've got in terms of budget. So I would have liked, as a viewer, as an audience member, I would have liked to obviously have seen them get more budget and have been able to develop everything right across the board here, from the script to the special effects, the lot. But again, I can't knock the director for that because, he can only work with what he's given.
yeah, but I see on the flip side of that, I know what the director was given, and I know the director, and I think what he was given to work with, he's pulled it off, and he's made quite a successful little shark film here. A lot better than some of the shit that we see. I think this is better than Meg. I'm a big Meg fan. I think it's
I actually think
almost
the
up.
second Meg's better than the first one.
I probably agree with that. I think I'm on board. I think I was on board with that one. But I think this is almost up there with Deep Blue Sea.
It's not as good as Deep Blue Sea.
The only reason it's not as good, the
I would say.
only reason it's not as good as Deep Blue Sea, the characters are more. I know the actors there, so I can appreciate the actors. Where this is nothing against these guys because I don't know them. I don't know a lot of French actors, so maybe that's the problem. I haven't seen them in anything else, so I can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe
I think it's well.
so maybe that, but that's not the movie's fault. So I'm looking at it. I'm actually breaking it down. I think pretty fairly. I'm giving this movie a massive pass, and I'm giving this guy the benefit of the doubt that he'll come back with a bigger budget on the second one and give me what I want.
I wanted to see as well, in terms of the script, more tongue-in-cheek humour that we got with the likes of Deep Blue Sea and Alligator and Piranha and stuff. I think it takes it a bit
Don't
too
you get
serious.
sick of that? I can hear your point, but we've seen that. Every film we've talked about has done that. I think there's nothing wrong with doing something a little darker.
No, I know that
But
there, but in terms of a giant killer shark movie, I like the tongue-in-cheek humour, the Samuel L. Jackson, doing a speech and then getting eaten and that sort of thing. But you know what, you're saying you'll give this a massive pass. I'm going to sit in the fence completely and wait for the sequel.
even if they don't get us, well, they will. I know it's been greenlit, but even if they did, they lost the battle at the end. So, and that's rare. Usually these films,
like
the hero comes out of the water and the shark's blown up. Like, yeah, no, they lost.
Like that, actually. I did appreciate that. It was subverting the audience expectations,
Yeah,
including
exactly.
my own, to be
Something
fair.
different. We always talk about something different, and they've done that. So I'm giving it a pass. It's a pleasant surprise. I forgot about this film until you mentioned it. We need to do another shark one, and I was like,
Yeah,
and
this
you
is my
mentioned it, I'm
pick.
like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, fuck, I forgot about that one. Yeah, let's watch that again, and I'm glad to revisit it. It's definitely, I'm hoping a sequel soon.
Yeah, I'm waiting to give my opinion for when the sequel comes. Hopefully it will.
Massive shout out to a couple of new listeners. Hong Kong.
Hong Kong?
Who are you in Hong Kong? 45 downloads yesterday from you. Where are you guys? Who's in Hong Kong? Reach out to us why you downloaded 45 episodes yesterday. Either A, you're batshit crazy.
Or you're glutton for punishment?
Yeah, B, you have no life.
A masochist?
Or C, yeah. No, we appreciate that. We've had Shark Month has been doing quite well. And we always, our retrospectives and our theme months seem to do pretty good. So we'll definitely keep that going. So thank you for all those downloads, and thank you to the states. The states have picked up quite a bit. Vermont, and Connecticut, Texas, and we haven't had our loaner from Indiana in a while. I think I've really upset them with the whole Yale thing. That was on me.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Nothing like alienating your audience and pissing them off, Of course, I wouldn't do anything like that, So sorry, guys,
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, a
They
shout out
chime
to
in.
another American listener of ours who just tuned in for the last podcast, Deep Blue Sea, and messaged me and said she enjoyed it. So hello to Annette.
Oh, hello, Annette.
Yes, thanks for tuning in.
Why are you talking to Trevor? I mean, come on.
Well, she was actually, sympathizing with me because I have to put up with your bullshit, every week.
Oh my God. People say prayers for me. Oh,
no,
maybe that's a bad thing.
People do need to say prayers for you. Trust me. Your soul is fucking lost long ago. Yeah.
All right, guys. Give us a shout at @CitizenFrame_podcast on Instagram and, of course, Facebook. If you want us to, you got a good theme month you like us to try to tackle, or what you thought of Under Paris. It's kind of a mixed reviews, but it's done okay, like most creature features get. So give us a shout and tell us what you thought. We're going to wrap this one up. Up next, I have no clue. We might take a little breather before we jump into the Final Destination retrospective and pepper in some basic, one-offs. And if you want to hear something, give us a shout before we do that. Maybe we can get you in. We're wrapping this one up. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one.